This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Hello, everyone. I am John Cullum. And
I am Emily Frankel.
my wife, Emily.
And John is my husband.
That's right. And we are going to talk about whatever Emily has on her mind.
Well, you said that I mentioned it slightly to you, and you said that's not a very nice subject, and I think it's a fun subject.
Okay.
Cheapskatery.
Uh-oh.
Cheapskatery. Say it. So
Cheapskatery, yes.
Aha.
It comes easily to me. I've always skated on the cheap side.
I don't think you have.
Oh, really?
You're very extravagant when you come to spending money on me. You're very extravagant when you're buying food at Trader Joe's or at any store, trying to buy something for me. You don't buy the cheapest thing at all.
Well, you're hard to please because there's a very narrow
That's not
amount of things.
cheapskatery. That's pleasing your wife.
Oh, yeah, well, okay.
This is cheapskatery. Why does John Cullum have a habit of
skating on the cheap side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom, I can see you as an ice skater. Be an ice skater. Show us how you would be an ice skater cheap.
Boom. Well, let's see.
I like that. Do that again. Cheapskate.
That's me falling through the ice.
Okay. Now listen, why are you a cheapskater?
Well, because I was the youngest of a fairly large family with a lot of cousins and people who were all older than me, and when they outgrew their clothes, they would send them to my family, and I would have to wear old clothes, and I liked wearing.
Your personality began to fit wearing old clothes.
Well, because there was a tremendous variety. Of course, they were all kind of skronky and out
What
of
does
date.
skronky mean? Old. Okay. Skronky, worn.
Skronky actually means kooky,
Okay.
but or skronky, kooky, cheap, really.
Okay. Anyway, so you think that cheapskatery came from your background?
I think and you know, I came from a family where you were supposed to eat every bite on your plate. You couldn't waste anything. And that's why I can't throw things away.
Well, that's true. You can't. Inside our refrigerator on the top shelves, there are little packages.
See, I told you this was an awful subject. You're going to tell all the terrible things about me.
No, I think you're very dear. And I think that this is a dear thing about you. For instance, John is not a cheapskate when it comes to...
Well, finish off your refrigerator story.
Well, there's little tiny pockets of bits of food.
The sweet potatoes sitting there from last night. And I figure
There's a little bite left.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. I had some leftover omelet that Emily cooked for me yesterday, and I saved it in there. But you know something?
I ate it.
It's disappeared because she takes advantage of my cheapskatery.
No, I didn't. I liked the omelet, though. It was a very good omelet. It was a nice portion.
Yeah.
No, John doesn't tip people like a cheapskate. He goes the other direction. He tips people, cab drivers, the guy who is our janitor, anybody who delivers something, anybody who delivers anything. These dollar bills.
Well, I put myself in, see, that's my empathy. I put myself in their position, and I think, hey, buddy, what do you call this? You call this a tip? No, I want to avoid that. I want them to say, well, thank you, sir.
Okay, I think that this shows the dimensions of a cheapskate. A cheapskate is someone who holds on to tiny things that he can use for himself without spending any more money, but throws money at anybody who's in a servile position that he might have been if he hadn't become John Cullum, the actor.
Well, speaking of that, and you can read my resume by looking in my closet, because I save everything from every show I've ever been in. In fact, if I forget a show, I can look in my closet. Oh, that's from On a Clear Day. That's from You're in Town. Oh, that's from The Boys. And so
The Boys in Syracuse.
No, I wasn't in the Scottsboro Boys.
John, I like you.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you have to put up with a lot
Don't
of different
change.
funny things.
Don't change.
Okay.
I love your cheapskatery, and so that's the story of this blog.
And we'll see you next week.
This is AI.R. See you next week.